My name is Mallory Jones. This is my second year on staff at Camp Siloam, and I'm a cabin counselor and escort leader this year. I've grown up in church, and so both of my parents are believers, and growing up I always had a really strong Christian background and heard a lot about the Lord and been taught a lot about the Lord. And when I was 9 years old, that's when I first put my faith in Christ. And I remember that time in my life was the first time that I realized that I was a sinner who needed the forgiveness that came through Christ. And so my life was completely different. And I remember in middle school, especially, I tried to do lots of the right things. And in high school, I was at every youth event. I went to all the mission trips, and I was really involved in my youth group. But I think that I lived in a way that showed that if I did more things, then I would gain more approval by God. And I kind of came to a point where I realized that it wasn't about what I could do to earn God's favor in my life. It was about what Christ had already done for me. And so that was a huge turning point in my faith. And I realized that I was living in a way that showed that I was trying to do all these things to earn the forgiveness of Christ when it had already been given. And now I can live in the freedom of that grace that He's shown me, and continue to grow in that. And one of the most formative points in my faith was in May of last year. My dad had emergency heart surgery, and that was really scary, and it was really hard on my family, and but it really strengthened my faith. And I think in that moment I realized that my hope couldn't be put in anything other than Christ, and that He was the only thing worth living for. And we can put our hope in so many other different things, like whether or not people are healed, or whether or not things go right in our life. But when we put our hope in Christ, it'll never disappoint. And I know that if my dad had passed, or if he had died that day, then I would have seen him again. And that salvation in Christ is what's been the anchor of my life, and I continue to live in that this day.